From the Peterson Event Center on the campus of the great University of Pittsburgh inside Pitt Studios, welcome to the award-winning Pat Narduzzi Show. I'm Larry Richard with Panthers head football coach Pat Narduzzi. Coach, week 2 was a thriller on the banks of the Tennessee River. Congrats on win number 2.
Kids did an amazing job, and anytime you go into that type of atmosphere on the road, away games are hard to begin with, and that atmosphere was strong. We had some mistakes. Kids didn't play great in the first quarter. We just didn't execute. Whether it's an overthrown ball or missed block or bad decision by a punt returner or kick returner. We just didn't play good in the first half. But it's nice to win football games, make mistakes, learn from them, and you don't make those mistakes a second time.
Yeah, and the field position wasn't very good either in the beginning of the game. But one thing that was really impressive, because it is as loud as I've been or heard anywhere. So from that standpoint, execution of the offense was pretty clean.
Really was. We were prepared, and I didn't have any fears. I didn't sit here last week or, worry, during the week, is our offense going to be able to do this? We just didn't have that fear at all. And, we had a little issue on punt, I think, and we will change some things the next time we do that with the noise, because we really didn't have a silent count or anything like that. And I think that, hurt us a little bit, but we felt like we could do without it. So we'll always make adjustments and learn from our mistakes.
But to be down 10, could have been 14. Your defense stiffened. They had obviously a special teams turnover touchdown, which helped their cause. But then slowly you could see your team start to take over. But it was a back-and-forth struggle, and we have one of the key players as your special guest today, and that would be Keyshawn Camp, who is, in my opinion, a magician, because nobody could see what he had done to snatch that ball from Joe Milton, the quarterback.
No doubt. That was the play of the game, really, when you look at it. If you had to pick a play that turned the tide, that gave our offense a short field. It just changed the momentum. Anytime you can get off the field, when our guys make plays on defense, people, will feed off of that, and that was huge. Now, who his roommate since he's been here is Rashad Weaver. And Rashad had a very similar one up in Boston that he took it out of Phil Jacovic's hands. And I think Keyshawn just wanted to do like Rashad. I think he did that for Rashad.
Well, he did, and we'll look forward to talking to Keyshawn Camp about that, and if that's something he works on every week in practice. Also, some significant defensive stops, none bigger than the 4th down and inches. I was right there on the sidelines. They were able to, get 6 inches to get a first down inside the 1, and you think this is going to be a big scoring play for them at some point. And you guys, John Patrician, last week's special guest, was the hero on that particular play.
Yeah, that was part of our weather package. I won't get into too many details. That's part of the weather package. It's a new blitz. I've done it in the past, and we just haven't had it installed. We looked at some short yard stuff this summer, and we hadn't done a whole lot of it, so it was a little bit of a surprise to them, and we got more where that came from too.
That was a tremendous momentum and game-changing moment.
It really was. And then go to Brandon Hill's interception. There were some big plays. Those are some big-time plays, and that's what you need in those big games.
But you still, even at the end, you had to control the clock, and they ended up burning a couple of timeouts, so they only had 1 left, and your offense was able to do what you wanted them to do, was dominate, get that victory formation, and call it a day.
Run the football, get a couple first downs. Again, critical mistake when you don't have any timeouts for that 4-minute drill. You try to save them. I think we had 2 left at that time, but used 1 earlier just to, we had 12 guys stuck on the field twice. Once we got a penalty, and I wasn't going to less, 5 yards in that game is big. So, we burnt 1 timeout in the second half, and so we had 2 left. But, you want to save those as much as you can.
Here with head coach Pat Narduzzi. Coach, let's talk about your player awards. We'll start with special teams.
Special teams. Our player of the week for special teams was Wendell Davis. Graded out 100%, was productive. We didn't have a great day on special teams. There wasn't a lot to pick from on that. Probably could have thrown Sam Scarton was 100% in his kicks. But Wendell did a heck of a job, and 14 plays and just, did it the way you're supposed to do it.
And how about on defense?
It's our guest today, Keyshawn Camp. 3 tackles, a sack, forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. That was a big-time play. And, again, it's how he got there, too. He clubbed the heck out of that guard, and, he went that way, and Keyshawn went that way. Keyshawn went vertical. He's a great athlete. I'm so happy he's playing like he is.
And your quarterback, Kenny Pickett, man, he just looks solid in control, even under great duress at times, and just got better as the game went on.
I mean, people don't realize what talent they have on that football team. I mean, they are a talented football team. But to be, 24, 36, 285 yards, 2 TDs, he rushes the ball, he scrambles, he makes plays, he leads us. You just trust, KP. And he was definitely the player of the game.
Offensive lineman of the week.
Jake Cradle, our right guard, did an outstanding job blocking those big guys in there, and he was instrumental in a lot of the runs that we got in that 4-minute drill.
And you have a unsung hero group.
Special teams had Trey Tipton, that punt team. Cool. Trey Tipton goes down there, in the end zone, bats it out, and that was a heck of a play. And a great punt by Kirk as well. Defensively, Marquez Williams, 2 tackles, 1 PBU, and that big PBU early in the game down the field when Jalen, number 11, forget his last name. He looked like he was wide open. We were in a zone coverage at the time, almost like a cover 3, and it was the number 2 receiver, and he had to catch up to him, and the guy's blazing fast. We tried to stay out of that coverage the rest of the day.
And offensive unsung heroes.
Offense, we had 3 of them, all 3 of our wideouts. You talk about, some weapons Kenny has with Jordan Addison, in the slot, and Tay Searmack on one side, Jared Wayne on the other. Those 3 guys played outstanding. And, besides catching the ball much better than they did a year ago, they're getting yards after the catch. That's what you notice. Guys catching and actually running with the ball afterwards. And we've worked hard in the offseason, just getting those guys to pick their feet up and run through, the smoke of any hand on the heel, whatever it may be. And we were proud of all 3 of those guys.
And let's go to defensive attack force players of the week.
Okay, those are guys that are making a lot of plays, very productive in the game. And Brandon Hill, obviously, with his 7 tackles, everybody remembers the interception at the end. Had a pass breakup, but the 7 tackles, he made some great tackles and in space as well. And Kalijah Cansey with 2 tackles on the sack. So we had 2 of them on defense.
And the Rocks players of the week?
Ryan Jacoby, our transfer offensive tackle from Ohio State. Cleveland kid. He's done an outstanding job. We're still working on getting him eligible. But he's a good football player, and we are happy to have him in our program.
And for those that don't know, those are the guys that give you the look of the team you're going to play. So that's really important during the course of a practice week.
It's really important. We talk about everybody's got a role, and those scout team rocks, as we call them, doing an incredible job. And we need them. You can't play a game without them. It's just nobody wants to go over there and do that, and your depth is not good enough to do that. And then on defense was a guy, Solomon DeShields, who played special teams for us, played a little bit of defense last year at the end of some games, and kind of had an average camp and just turned it around last week on the Rocks. He was a Rock, and then actually went down and ran down on the kickoff as well in a game and did some nice things, and he'll continue to get a little bit more playing time as we go week by week.
Those are your Panther awardees of the week, and when we come back, you'll meet Coach Narduzzi's special guest, Keyshawn Camp. You're listening to the Pat Narduzzi Show, presented by Dollar Energy Fund on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
Stick together, attitude and effort all day long, okay? And we go Pitt tough.
Welcome back to the Pat Narduzzi Show. Larry Richard with Coach's special guest, defensive tackle and 5th-year senior Keyshawn Camp. Keyshawn, good to see you. I'm good. How are you?
Doing good.
So I'm standing on the sidelines. I'm as close as any person that's not in the game to you stealing the ball from their quarterback, and everybody in the stadium is going, what happened? So take us through what happened on that play.
That play, it was kind of a fastball, so I don't take all the credit. We was going over something that we seen on film, a little tendency that the offense had. So my sidekick, D. Green, he gave me a playing call. So I was like, okay. And I was like, I know what that is. So then I got ready to pass rush. So I seen the guard. I made sure I checked, made sure, took 2 steps, and then I seen that he dropped back to pass, so I was like, okay. So I just threw the guard out my way, and next thing you know.
Well, you just throw the guard out of the way. He's a big dude. That was you powered through that, and going through your mind, were you going for the ball or just going for the sack?
It's kind. I was going for the sack, but also I seen the ball, and it's a drill that we do.
So you practiced this.
Yes, sir. So we secure the tackle and make sure you get the ball out. So I made sure that I secured the tackle. With him being a big quarterback, 6'4", 250, you don't run across them type of quarterbacks that much. So I had to make sure I secured the tackle and then also get the ball.
Yeah, he was pretty athletic and tall, and I think he was just as surprised as everyone in the stadium that you ended up with the football.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was a game-changing moment, wouldn't you say, Coach?
No doubt about it. He say anything to you on the ground there? Did any conversation go on like, hey?
No, I made sure I got up and got away from him because I had to make sure that everybody in that stadium knew that I had the ball.
So congrats. You had an incredible game. And your whole defense, you guys are nasty.
Nasty boys.
I guess so. Hey, we just try to get after the quarterback and make plays.
Well, like Brandon Hill said, he trusts each player next to him is doing his job, so you focus on doing what you do best, right?
Yes, sir. 11 is 1.
And, Coach, you're known for your defenses, but this team, man, they're just so deep, and you guys are rotating guys in, and guys are stepping up and making plays.
Yeah, we're deep, and we can still get a lot better. That's the thing. I mean, you look at, just as a coach, unfortunately, we're always looking at the bad things and not the good things. Keyshawn, obviously, we emphasize those great plays, but there's so much better. There's so much, room for improvement for our guys, and that's what we're focused on because we just can't stay the same. We got to get better.
Well, you had a fantastic game. What do you know about Western Michigan? It's a Mid-American Conference. Never played before. University of Pittsburgh and Western Michigan. So what's the word this week?
What's the word? They're a very good team. They're a team that can come in and beat us if we're not strapped and ready. So they're a team that I feel that can compete with us. But then we also have to be humble and then face success the right way to that we have to make sure we stop the run first. That's what we are, run stopping defense. And then after we stop the run, then we go out there and have fun.
That's your mantra, stop the run, and you ask your D-backs to do a lot, but if it doesn't happen up front, they got their hands full.
No doubt about it. And they'll have their hands full. These guys do a lot of RPOs. He talked about the run, but it's going to be a heavy RPO. But I wouldn't be shocked if they change a little bit as well. But they've been heavy run with RPOs, skinny posts. So our corners are going to be out there on an island again. We're going to have to stop that stuff, and should be an interesting game.
Well, let's learn a little bit more about Keyshawn Camp. So you have a degree.
Yes, sir.
Administrative justice, and now you're going for a sociology degree.
Yes, sir.
Post-football, and I think there may be Sundays involved in your future.
Definitely will.
What do you want to
do? Ultimate goal, God's plan, playing the NFL. After the NFL, I want to travel. I definitely want to travel. So I had looked into U.S. Marshal type things. But I just know with having a family and doing U.S. Marshal, you kind of putting your family at risk of certain things. So right now I'm just taking it 24 hours at a time, just trying to live life because life is precious.
Keyshawn, you come from Lakeland, Florida. What has your experience been in Pittsburgh with the fan base here? And then you guys powering through COVID. Man, that was tough last year.
Yes, it definitely was, but like Coach said, we just tried to stay in our bubble, stay in our own bubble, and try not to stay around too many people, and try to keep our family safe too. So it was sometimes I couldn't even go back home, and then want to expose anything to my family, and then want them to expose anything to me that I could give to my teammates. But everything else was good. Lakeland is a fun place to be. I got friends there, I got family. It's a nice place just to go to relax.
I imagine your phone was blown up on Saturday because a national TV audience, ESPN, kicked off at noon.
Yes, sir, it definitely was.
So I'm just curious, what do you do to relax? Like when you're chilling, okay, you got football, you got your studies, then what?
I'm more of a movie guy. I just sit back and chill and relax. I don't like to do too much. My weekend consists of just relaxing. Probably watch Netflix. I just call my family. I talk to my friends. I definitely talk to my boy Weave. That's like my brother. Talk to him every chance that I can get. Really, I'm just a chill guy, chill, laid-back guy.
How's he doing? What's the word from Rashad Weaver?
He's doing good. Rashad's doing good right now. So he's just trying to make sure that he doing everything he can to get on the field and get more playing time.
And I'm sure he will. And you talked about movies. What movies? What
Favorite movie?
What was the last movie you watched? I think I asked you last year one time, and it was like
I don't even know.
The Godfather or something. What kind of movies you like?
I like all type of movies. I like rom-coms. I like
You know what that is?
I like-
Rom-com?
Romantic comedy.
I like rom-coms. I like action movies. I kind of interested in. I don't do horror movies. It's because I feel like the horror movies, you can tell when something is going to happen.
What's one of your go-to series have you watched?
I'm a Fast and Furious type of guy. I love all the Fast and Furious movies. But
9 of them.
Yeah, but they starting to get a little too crazy. It done went from cars to now they saving the world. So now they kind of getting a little crazy with that.
Listen, good luck. You had a great game Saturday. Keep up the momentum and go for a Week 3 win against Western Michigan.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That is fifth-year senior defensive tackle Keyshawn Camp, the magician. When we come back, we'll talk to Pat Bostic and take a look at what you need to know about Western Michigan. You're listening to the Pat Narduzzi Show, presented by Dollar Energy Fund on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
Stick together, attitude and effort all day long, okay? And we go Pitt tough.
Last year was unique.
It was odd not hearing the fans in the stands.
I can't wait for this year to start.
Let's return to Hines.
The band,
The crowd.
the hits, the big hits.
College game day.
The scrambles. The big catches.
The sacks.
The celebrations.
One more dive to the pylon.
Color analyst and former Pitt quarterback Pat Bostic, also associate athletic director of Major Gifts, joining the Pat Narduzzi Show. Pretty exciting football game to call and to watch.
Too exciting. Died 6 times during that game. No, it was fun. It was a heck of a game, and obviously going down 10-0, winning on the road in an environment like that, you can build off of that. And it was fun to call and fun to see Coach Sherrill there, Jimbo there, honor Johnny Majors, and most importantly, leave with a win.
Yeah, Jackie Sherrill, he came to the game. He had a sport coat on. He was looking old school sharp.
And I gave him one of those Johnny Majors old shirts. We made one for him, but he wanted to keep that suit on. I was like, sure.
You know, he charted every play of the game.
No, he didn't.
He was charting the game. He came up into the radio booth.
Offense or defense? I know.
Both. I think he's like, who's number 9? What's his name? I want to talk to number 9. It's a heck of a play he made.
Yeah, his name's Brandon Hill. I want to meet him.
Yeah, unbelievable.
it was kind of cool. I mean, there's so many, for both teams. Obviously, Johnny Majors coached at both universities, and both people appreciate Johnny. But Jackie, he's a Pitt guy. Come on,
No doubt about it. So is Johnny.
Well, yeah, he was
Johnny's
a Pitt guy,
family.
but-
Supposedly, Jackie said, "Hey, they're coming. They're coming in Pitt gear." Just so we all.
Well,
on the
that's
same page.
significant.
That's
I
significant.
did not know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Next year's
That was
gonna
an
be fun.
inside. So
It'll be fun next year. There'll be a lot of people
Yeah, and
coming back, and
newly minted NFL Hall of Famer Jimbo Covert was also in attendance, and I know this is a special weekend for Jimbo.
yeah, honoring him at the game on Saturday. He's coming in town, coming in tomorrow. Have a little deal on Friday night, and we'll be at the game on Saturday. He's, Penny, his wife, says it's the summer of Jimbo.
All right, here's what you need to know about Western Michigan, brought to you by PNC Bank. Make today the day. So your scouting report, Pat Bostic.
RPO on offense.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Oh.
Come on.
Okay, it's RPO. I don't
You
know.
think they're going to switch it up?
I think they're going to switch it up.
Well, they ran the ball a bunch last week.
Yeah. I don't
Play
know.
a lot of too high
We're
coverage.
prepared for a little bit of everything, but They don't run much empty. I expect to see a lot of empty. I went back and watched Syracuse 2015. Jordan
Tim
Whitehead's
Lester.
a freshman. Tim Lester.
Yep.
And I went back. I'm like, whoa. I mean,
Ryan
he's
Nass
got
of
his
empty.
he's got his fingerprints all over that offense up there, and it is the same stuff. And and again, the RPOs weren't big in 2015, so we'll still see some RPO. But you watch how they came out against Michigan. They came out, dropped back, went right down the field.
Yep.
It wasn't an RPO game.
No.
So we'll see a little bit. They're not going to sit there and hang in the RPOs because even with the RPOs, there's some small windows. I think they're worried about putting it in. Even though I think their quarterback is a football player. I think he's really good. He's a 6-foot guy that is a football player. I think he's he's a top quarterback. Let me just tell you, his efficiency on third down, the kid's unbelievable.
I'm curious because you talk about going back, looking at tape, and how much can you cram in 1 week to get your players to have, you can only absorb so much.
The beautiful thing about football nowadays is, you go from UMass, who ran a lot of the same stuff, some two-back, we call it flex formation with a two-back and the tight ends back in the backfield. And then, they don't run a whole bunch of that, but you prepared for it. Then you're going to Tennessee, and they run a lot of it. So they don't know that you worked on it the week before. So there's so much carryover week to week, unlike it used to be years back. So everybody's run some type of spread type offense, and there's carryover every week for our kids. It's just tweaking the defense to what they do. And again, this week, same thing. I mean, to me, we're going to see some empty. They're going to spread it out. I think their quarterback he's accurate. He can throw the ball where he wants it. He can make the throws to the field flats. They'll try to wear our flats out, I believe, and we'll be ready for it.
Quarterback Pat Bostic, explain what RPO is.
Run pass option. There's a lot of different variations of it. I mean, the old RPO was bubble screen, now route. Now it's slants. It's guys linemen 3 yards down the field, seam routes, quick outs. They ran a lot of it last week, but it was too high safety, and they were handing it off.
We see more PROs.
Pass run option.
Okay. It's pass first. I mean, they're not even they're
Right.
pulling it.
It makes a line coach go nuts.
So.
When you run an RPO, you block it perfectly, and the ball's thrown. And you got to block for a touchdown. But I think the interesting thing this week is how much slower they're going to be offensively. Much more deliberate. Check with me to the sideline. It'll be a cat and mouse game. When you make adjustments, guys shift. Do you get out of blitz? Do you get into a blitz? That's the fun part of a game like this. And you're in a home environment. Much harder to do that on the road. Communicate against an up-tempo team like Tennessee, who was at the line of scrimmage. It's like polar opposite, tempo-wise.
But as Pat said, it is going to be a slower down tempo. But they don't allow you really to look to the sideline and change your plays. He never moves out of that. He kind of turns, looks back, and a lot of times he comes right back. So you can't.
It's not.
You can't
It's
change
not that
it.
slow after the plays.
So we've got a pretty good plan of what we want to do against it, and our guys will not be rushed. Put it that way. They're going to use up the average snap to clock with 7 seconds left on the play clock. So you can
Lots of time.
go get some popcorn, come back. And,
Unlike last week.
Yeah.
How about that up-tempo stuff?
last week you blink, you got a problem.
Yeah, but I mean, just going back to 3 years ago against Central Florida, the substitution, I think there might have been one issue with the substitution. You had to take a timeout. But for the most part, you guys were getting in and out. You have enough depth now to be able to really backfill and roll guys up front. And that made it easier, obviously, on the road to be able to play a lot of guys defensively at every position. Corner, safety, D-tackle, D-end.
All right, Pat, in your final minute, keys to victory over Western Michigan's Broncos.
I want to hear this one.
Well,
I might use some of it.
You might use some of it. No, I mean, obviously the key is to play good football. Offensively, you got to keep the explosives, score points. Defensively, I thought didn't tackle our best.
No, we did
against
not.
Tennessee. So I would say that tackling is critical this week, particularly in the open field with the way you guys play. You're one-on-one. You break one tackle. You saw that now route on the sideline. They're going to try to get the ball out quick. You got to tackle well in the open field. Got to be better than we were a week ago. And then special teams. Special teams are going to be important. Obviously, there were some issues a week ago. You got to clean up and make an improvement. That'll be a critical part of winning close games down the road, so I look for that to get better this week.
How do you avoid a letdown?
There's no letdown.
Okay.
This is a good football team. It's a good program. P.J. Fleck did a good job there. Tim Lester's done a good job there. You watch the tape. Tape never lies, Coach. You watch the tape, you see plays being
They're
made.
well coached.
The score does not
offensively,
indicate
defensively.
how that Michigan game went, Michigan popped some big ones in the second quarter, third quarter.
First quarter.
Yeah, they did, but they
It was
went right
explosives. They got beat with explosives. It wasn't. I mean, they stopped them play
Yeah.
after play after play. All of a sudden, boom! They just gave up a big play.
Yeah, so it's a good football team. It's a good coaching staff, and they got good players that are familiar with you. So you got to go out there and play good ball. It's about you, and you always ask about the opponent. It's about you. It's got to be about us.
And we'll see you Saturday, Pat. Our pregame is on the air at 10. Bill Hillgrove will have our play-by-play. Looking forward to the noon kickoff. Partner.
See you at 9:59.
Coming up, we'll have some final thoughts with Coach Pat Narduzzi. You're listening to the Pat Narduzzi Show, presented by Dollar Energy Fund on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.
Stick together, attitude and effort all day long, okay? And we go Pitt tough.
Pat Narduzzi Show getting ready for week 3. It's Western Michigan and Pitt, noon, Heinz Field. Coach, got to be feeling good overall, but as you talk about, you step through usually Sunday, win or lose, that's gone. You're working on this week, so you have your perfect Thursday ahead. And overall, you must be feeling pretty good about your team's performance in game 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, we're not thinking about it. I mean, really, as a head coach, you're just worried about game 3. I mean, you don't even look back. It's just let's get better. It's my job to make sure this football team is ready to roll against Western. Again, a really good football team coming into Heinz Field, and we need everybody to show up and be loud.
First time a Pitt team has beat an SEC team on the road in 30 years. So it's a signature win. How do they not, relax a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you always worry about it, but, like I said Monday, that's my job, and I think our kids are mature enough. They get it. I mean, we only have 10 more opportunities. They're not going to give you a back. Hey, let's go play that game over again. We would have done it better. You just don't get that opportunity. I think our kids are locked into that. They understand it the next game, and we're beyond that, I think.
Anybody's play Saturday catch your eye and say, wow, they took a big step?
I would say Izzy. Just watching Izzy run the football, and Vince was good running the football, but Izzy did some nice things, hard runs in that fourth quarter, and he's just going to continue to get better, I think. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do Saturday.
And I know it's not going to be shown on television locally. Looks like the weather's going to cooperate. And the way Pitt traveled in Tennessee, you'd like to see a big crowd at Heinz Field. I know that the Panther Pit will be full.
No doubt about it. We can't wait to see the Pit. Can't wait to sing the fight song with them in that corner.
All right, Coach. Good luck against the Western Michigan Broncos Saturday.
Thanks, Larry. Appreciate it.
And we'll be on the air again with our pregame show at 10. Bill Hillgrove, Pat Bostic, Cale Berger. And we want to thank our executive producer, PJ Kamanchik, Amanda Soleil, producing here at the Pete. Cale Berger's back at Master Control with his game day contributions. Pitt's Paul Bartow and his team always do an outstanding job with all their productions. And a special thanks to Executive Associate Athletic Director, Media Relations, E.J. Borghetti, who always keeps us straight. Pitt Beyond the Script, Thursday, AT&T Sportsnet at 10:30 a.m. Plus the Pat Narduzzi radio show on TV, Friday at 4:30, and a replay Saturday morning at 10. Meanwhile, looking forward to Saturday. We'll see you at Heinz Field. Noon, again, is the kickoff. It's Western Michigan, the Broncos, and the Panthers. You've been listening to the Pat Narduzzi Show, presented by Dollar Energy Fund. Hail to Pitt on the Pitt Panthers Radio Network.